Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Rotor Talk Live, Season 4, Episode 45, DJI Mavic 3 Pro pre-launch special. How is everyone doing tonight? Exciting week, okay? How can it get more exciting, guys, than having the Mavic 3 launch and then this weekend is spin up, okay? It's pretty awesome. And wishing everyone safe travels to spin up. And a safe, enjoyable, and fun time, flying drones, talking to people. The best thing about Spin Up, I know I haven't been there. I'm hopefully going to get there next year. Best thing about it is being able to have some what we call breaking bread with our fellow drone flyers. Okay, that's the best thing. Okay, flying drones is good. But talking to people and enjoying them is what really makes Spin Up worth its while. I know Kelly's going to put on a fantastic time for everybody. I know people won't be disappointed. Got a very special guest coming on tonight. Okay, Ron's going to join us a little later, but he won't be on too long because he's getting ready to go tomorrow. I believe Marcus will be able to join us a little later as well. So. The whole show, we're going to be talking about this. First of all, I want to greet people tonight. Alvin Prather, Johnny Drone Flyer, welcome. Let's see, Leonard Oglesby, Captain Ray Kelly, welcome, Ray. Grumpy Vlogger, welcome, Lloyd. Hope your wife's doing well. Bill Thomas is in the house. And Maddie's Drone World, welcome, Maddie. Let's see who else we got here. Drone Views Media. Drone Master, welcome, my friend. Good to see you. Phoenix Video, Nick's High Tech, Cryptoman 5000. Want to make sure we get everybody here. Drone Shots is in the house. Jaybird is in the house. All right. Sean T is here. All right. Oh, that's great. That's great, Lloyd. Glad you had a chance to get together with him. That's awesome. That is absolutely awesome. Akarasho is here. All right, guys, this is it. I mean, this is what you would call a pen. I'm trying to look for the word. It's like everything great about drones is happening this week. Okay, something we've been waiting for at least 2 years. The Mavic 3 release. It's right on our heels, and it's coming up, and we got a lot to talk about tonight, and I mean a lot to talk about. And then Spin Up, okay? It's just I'm still, the timing is impeccable. I'm sure DJI worked it out with Kelly. No, I'm just kidding, but it's incredible. This happens right on the eve of Spin Up. It just absolute. I think it's fantastic. I hope you guys had a chance to watch Drone Nation last night. They went over things very well as far as Spin Up is concerned. If you didn't, go back and watch it. They got some information from Kelly about itinerary for Spin Up and what's all going on. So please go back and watch that. It was a great show. It was a long show last night for those guys. They were on almost 2 hours, and it was very, very good. It was a good show. I had to go to bed because my work time comes bright and early for me. Anyway, here, okay, we're going to be joined in a little bit by some great people, so you have to bear with me for just a little bit here. Okay, now, we are, like I said, and here's our first guest.
What's up, Bill?
From the sunny Florida, none other than Matt himself. Matty, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing good, Bill. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for having me on tonight.
It's been too, I should have had you on like eons ago. I mean, seriously, this has been way too long. You should have been on here a long time ago.
I feel special. I got to tell you.
Well, you are, okay? Because every time I have a guest on, they're a very special guest. They're always a very special guest.
Always.
So are you excited about Spin Up?
I am, man. I'm just looking forward to getting out of Florida in general. I really am. But we have everything tidied up. you know, we're going to finish packing tomorrow, and then we are heading out on Thursday afternoon.
Oh man, that's gonna be. Well, let me tell you, I escaped Florida back in July. Went up to Ohio. That's where my kids are and my granddaughter, and we went up for her birthday. So that's the first time we've been out of the state in like eons, and it's such a great feeling. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, we never get out. Like, period. We don't travel much because the kids are always in school or the wife's working. And the only time we got to travel this year was when we did the Florida meetup in Sebastian, and that was only 2 hours north of me.
Yeah. So it's I know what you're saying. It's like, yeah, we've been driving within Florida, but it's like going out of Florida. We haven't done it. And, of course, COVID is still rearing its ugly head. And, that kind of puts a little bit of a damper on things. Well, and I don't know. I just want to let you know, I would love to be doing what you're doing, and Johnny and Marcus and everybody. But my granddaughter and my daughter and her husband are coming. My son-in-law, they're coming down a week before Christmas. So that's and that's I saved that vacation time especially for that. Otherwise, I would be on my way to Texas as well with you.
Family first, man.
That's right. Always, 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 always.
That's the reason I'm dragging mine.
Hey, you make it fun because I know Ron and Marcus last time that they both went. Their wives came with them, and they had a blast. They all had a great time there. So, and I got to say this, I can tell you this. I've met Kelly during the Mavic 2 launch in New York. Got a chance to meet him. By the way, he's tall. Okay, you don't necessarily find out how tall a person is till you meet him in person. Okay, yep. Kelly's tall. All right, but I'll tell you what, he's great, and I can tell you this. He is going to put on a first-class event on Saturday. I guarantee
it's going to be off the rails this year.
It will be.
Speaking of tall, I'm 6'4", so I might not have a problem.
You probably won't have a problem. Okay?
I hope not.
Well, that's like Ed Ricker. Okay, and I met him in New York too for the release event, and I'm like, you don't really know how tall a person is until you actually see them in person. And I'm looking, hi, Ed, how are you? It's like one of those deals. I mean, I had no clue he was that tall. You couldn't tell from his videos. You absolutely could not tell.
Another thing is being starstruck, man. When we had our Florida event, some of the people that showed up, I was standing in front of them and I got to meet them, and I was like, my jaw was dropped. I didn't know what to say. I was starstruck.
Seriously. Well, I got to meet, it's the first time, believe it or not, okay, Ken Dono lives probably about 45 minutes or so away from me. The first time I met him was in New York City, believe that or not. Okay, it was crazy. I mean, because our schedules were like like that kind of thing. And then I met Billy there. I also met Rick Smith. It was a wonderful event. And see, DJI's gotten away from that. Okay, these live events, because it costs them a fortune. And let me tell you this, Matt, it was a first class all the way deal that DJI put on. They rented this place called the Dougal Center, which was this old, it was in the Navy Pier Yards over in Brooklyn, and it overlooked, you could see all of Manhattan from inside. There was glass.
I can only imagine.
And then what they did was they gave us SD cards as we walked in. They gave us a little gift kit, and I couldn't figure out why are they giving us SD cards. Well, they had Mavic 2s ready for us to fly, and they got permission from the city of New York to fly them over the Hudson River. And it was just
can't go wrong there.
Oh my! It was I was scared. I did not fly. Okay, I took a lot of pictures and video for that day. So
that was their last event, right? Was the Mavic 2?
Yeah, that was the very last time they had an actual in-person event for a drone. Was that? And
wow.
And it cost them a lot of money to put on a show like that. I mean, and this way nobody has to go anywhere. They're doing it, because people are still, kind of antsy about COVID and everything. And it kind of makes sense for them not to do this right now. So
understandable.
So that's where we're at with this. Ron's probably going to be on in a little bit, and he won't be able to be on too long tonight because he's going to leave tomorrow.
Yeah, that's right. He is showing up early. He said he will be at the hotel, I believe, tomorrow night.
Yeah, he's going to be there tomorrow night. So
he's going to have the grill and everything ready for us when we get there. We're all staying in the same hotel.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Well, I actually met Ron and his wife came down here to Florida and spent some time here a couple of years ago, and we met over at Clearwater Beach. Well, actually, North Reddington Beach, and we got to do some flying at night. And it was like dusk, and I basically sold the Mavic 2 to him because he had original Mavic Pro, and he got to see mine at sunset, and then he was looking through his Mavic Pro at sunset, and he was like, wow, his jaw had dropped. Okay. And it's just like, I sold a drone right then and there to him, and he bought it. I mean, he was like, yeah, sold, Bill. He says, I
got to meet him in Florida at the meetup, and then we got to fly with me, him, and Michael Wright and Ray Kelly on Monday morning, just the four of us.
Oh,
and
man.
He is one of the coolest guys I've ever hung out with in my life.
Ron
is so much fun to be around. He's always happy.
He is. He's even keel all the time. Okay. Yep. And that's what's great about Ron. He really is. He's also, I call him affectionately the Jedi Master of Sunsets. Okay. Because, he practices all the time up where he lives, because he lives right on the shore. Yep. And his videos are just off the charts. I mean, and he knows what he's doing. Well, he came from a background of photography. That's how he got started in this. And he just translated into drones, and the sky's the limit with him. It really is.
It is.
It really is. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We're learning more and more and more. And the first thing I wanted to talk about is the new smart controller, not the old one, the new smart controller. Now, I don't know if you caught this last night during the show, but Lauren put in the chat, and during the show, that the new controller is going to be available a la carte, if you will. Okay, so you can buy it separately, but I don't know if you heard the price.
About $1,000.
About $1,000. Okay.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And now I know where you're going to come from on this, and I'm with you on this. Okay. Because, all right, the screen size. All right. And I know people are like, that screen is really good on the smart controller. Yeah, it's good, but you know what? It's not great. And the size, the real estate on that thing. Okay. Matt, I'm 63. Okay. Glasses. Yeah. Bigger is always better. Okay.
I'm only 37 and I hate flying with my phone. My biggest thing is when I'm flying, especially with a 10-inch tablet, is I love seeing more detail in my video feed. And with a phone, you almost find yourself zooming in on things just to get an idea of what it actually is.
Yeah.
And that's a problem for me. I'd rather have something big to where I don't even have to use my zoom feature. If I see something on the horizon that I want to shoot, I'm not worried about what it is or where I'm going, because my screen size gives me just enough availability to be able to see what's in front of me. And that's my biggest thing. And that was what put me off when I saw that V2 smart controller. I said, God, why?
I said the same thing, Matt, because it's like, okay, all they really did in my book is they repurposed the original smart controller.
Pretty much.
They've added some features to it. Granted, it's now OcuSync 3, and I think there's some more memory in it and a better processor and so forth. But I'm calling it, as I did with Ron and Marcus, I call it's like Smart Controller 1.5. Okay,
pretty much. Yeah, it is.
I mean, and see, the thing is, a lot of guys are going to go out and grab that. All right, and I think just it's a mistake. And you heard Michael last night on the show. He's talking about the Triple Tech tablet. $800. Okay. And, not only does it have of course it's Android, and it's a bigger size. And the other thing, you have the ability, it has a SIM card. Okay. So you go ahead and, you don't need a hotspot for it.
Nope. I do the same thing. My tablet has 4G service on it. I won't use one that has to have hotspot, because it's just another step that I'd rather not take.
I agree. Now I got caught. I had an iPad Mini 4, and I don't have to tell you. You know how hot it is flying down here in Florida. I mean, I like to fly before like 11 in the morning or 10 in the morning, and then I'll fly like after 4 or 5 in the afternoon, because between those other hours, it's killer. Okay.
Yep.
It's just absolute killer down here. And until you live in Florida and fly in Florida, you don't really know and realize how hot it is. And I found out my iPad mini, I was flying my Phantom 4 Pro back, and my iPad mini, it got hot and it just shut down. Okay.
Oof.
Totally. And I was lucky because I could see the drone. It was coming back. I had visual reference, obviously, and it was on its way back. So, I didn't have a problem. But, imagine you're out and that happens and it cuts out,
Yeah, that's not good.
No. In this Triple Tech tablet, because I talked to Ken about it a lot, because he had gotten the original model, and he was singing the praises of it during the original one came out, before they did the upgrade, and now it's good to hear from Michael and his take on it as well. So in my book, I think those that go ahead and buy the smart controller, save a couple of $100, go and get the Triple Tech.
Yep.
And I know Ken also makes, he prints everything off, okay, on his 3D printer.
Oh, he makes a really cool 3D printed bracket for the back of that thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Don't even get anything other than what Ken does, because he does a great job on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that I absolutely highly recommend. Now, one of the other things that we found out the other day when Osita put out some of these pictures, and I'm going to go ahead and put these pictures up. I'm going to get this up here. Oh, okay.
Hi, everybody in the chat.
Now, these pictures actually these were stills that were taken from that. Have you had a chance to see? I'm sure you saw that video, right?
I watched bits and pieces of it. I've tried to watch the whole thing, but I cannot get a hold of it.
Yeah. Well, I did a 4K download of it, so I had it permanently. But of course, these are the filters. But what I wanted to get, let's go over here. Okay, and there's a shot of it in action. But this was Telltale right here. Okay, it's the Fly app, which is fantastic. I think that's a good choice. The Go 4 app has shown its age.
Yeah.
And as I've talked before, and I told this to Ron, I don't know about you, Matt, but having to go down like 2 or 3 levels in menus to get settings in the Go 4 app is a real pain in the butt.
I had the Go 4 when I flew my Phantom 4 and my Spark. And this Fly app to me is so much more simplistic. I've gotten used to it. A lot of people don't like the app. I understand nobody likes the app. Some people don't like the simplicity of it. They'd rather have it more detailed. But as we've been saying, if you look at the app there, this thing's going to get a major update to it. Obviously, you can tell there's going to be a lot of things that are going to change. And I hope it changes for the drone lineup that's on the Fly app already. I don't know if it's going to be just the Mavic 3 or we get an Air 2S app update maybe. I hope. But I like it the way it is. I like the
right. And you know what? And I agree. My only thing and my only caveat is, okay, all this information is in white, okay? They need to pick another color other than white.
That's where the tablet comes into play. Because on a smart controller or a phone, you cannot see that. But if I'm on a tablet, I can read it clear as day because it's that much bigger.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And I've been singing the praises of them with the simplicity of this app ever since it came out, because when it first came out, I mean, I remember seeing the video for the original Mini. Okay. And they had a young lady who was, firing it up for the first time and bringing it up. And it was so easy. You could tell it was easy for her to do that and to use the app and the simplicity of this. And I think it really helps get more newbies into the fold with this app than having to learn something like the Go 4. If you're starting out on the Go 4, that's a tough road to go.
Well, that's the whole point of the Fly app introduction was for the newbies, because with the Mavic Mini, their whole idea to it was, let's make it simpler, smaller drone, more hobbyists into the hobby. It's going to be newer people flying it. So let's make the app simple.
Yeah.
They decided to stick with it, but as they stuck with it, they have made upgrades to it that is making it better and better for us higher end hobbyist guys.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe that's my personal opinion. Some people don't like it. Some people do. Personally, me, I get along great with that app.
Oh, I do too. I've never had a problem. The only thing was, if I was using my smartphone, which I don't do anymore, it's like being able to read some of that stuff is just, it's mind boggling, and it's not easy. Okay. But yeah, but yeah, those are the pictures. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and also bring up.
This thing looks pretty big in that guy's hand, unless he's got small hands.
Yeah, it does.
The picture of him holding it is.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm bringing up right now.
Pretty beefy drone.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's a big boy. Now, the slim design on the arms, that kind of threw me off for a minute, because they're like really, really thin compared to any of the other Mavics.
Yeah, and well, one of the things that I was kind of hoping for is, the whole thing when they came out with the Mavic Pro was unique, was the rear arms having a fold under, okay, like that, which is something everybody's used to right now.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody said, it would be nice if they would go to a design, and I'm gonna bring up Fimi for a second. All right, the SE 2020, SE 2022, they fold out. Okay, they don't fold. It's not up and in. They fold out. All right, and I know a lot of people said, they wish that DJI would go to do something like this. There has to be a reason for it. I'm not sure. Probably somebody like Rick Smith, who's an engineer, he probably knows why they do this. I don't have a clue.
There's probably some sort of crazy technical reason for it. My opinion to be different, but I could be wrong. They're the only ones that do it. I mean, every now and then you'll see a toy grade company that snaps them out like that, but other than that, the Mavic line is the only drone out that actually swings out like that. I believe they stuck with it, maybe just because it works. I think so too. And you also have to think about the electrical components and the wire that runs there and all of that. Is it easier? Is it less stress on that wire? Who knows? Okay, it's just one of those. It's just one of those crazy things. Okay, and one of the interesting things is that what they did with the battery this year. Okay, instead of having it on top, putting it in the back like the Phantom and the minis. I think that's a good thing. That's just aesthetics aside. I think it's good. I do. Yeah, I do too.
And I think and this is again, I'm not an engineer, but I think center of gravity and things like that. I think there's some, I fly RC planes as well. Okay. And center of gravity is really important where you put that battery to achieve a good center of gravity. And I think they've kind of done that here. I think they've done that right here.
Yeah. Also being able to slide in the back like that allows them to keep the battery slimmer and more for electronics and whatnot in the body, because of it being able to slide in the back. It's not going on top or hooking underneath. And as we all know, on the Mavics, the batteries take up, a third of the body because of the way it snaps in. With these, you can go a little bit smaller with them, which gives you more body for electronics. I think that was a smart move. I think it was.
Yeah, I agree. I have absolutely, positively no, ifs, ands, or buts about it. I think it's a great thing. I think they got smart with that. Okay. Now, I've had a lot of people comment, obviously, one of the things was the pricing. Okay. And people are having heart attacks. They're, it's just, it's like, Bill, why is it so much? Why is it so much and everything? Let's go back. And one of the things, and I want to go over what Hey Kesterlu found, but but first I want to go back to what I paid for the Mavic 2 originally when I bought it. Now I bought it. This is funny. Okay. When we were at the event, it was Rick Smith, Billy, they're all up there on their phones, and I can't figure out because I'm trying to pay attention to the speaker and everything. They were ordering their drones. Okay. I didn't know they were doing that. I didn't order mine till we got back to the hotel mid-afternoon, but they were actually ordering their drones online, which I thought was kind of funny. Okay. Right during the event. I was like, this is crazy here. But I ended up paying, it was roughly around $1,400, $1,500 for it. Okay. Not with the fly, the Flymore kit was more. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, if you roughly add $500 or $600 to that, okay, the leap in technology that the Mavic 3 is ahead of the Mavic 2 Pro, I mean, that's a pretty considerable leap, Matt. It really is.
It makes sense. Everything, and as you know, everything is going to go up in price. It's not like we're going to get better drones for cheaper value. That's just not how it works. And the technology leap that they made from the camera to the body to the fisheye obstacle avoidance sensors, which, by the way, I think are going to be pretty crazy because of the way they're placed and the size of the sensors. It's all in all just a complete upgrade.
Now, go ahead.
No, I was going to. Hey, you have to understand where the price point's coming from, and I think that even at the base price of $2,100, it's going to be worth every penny.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we were talking about. And we'll get to this in a minute. I want to show these prices here. Now they translated these from Chinese yuan. The base model is $2,168 US, Mavic 3 Flymore combo on $2,761, and Mavic 3 Cine Premium combo $5,134. Okay, and one of the things that I tell everybody, because I get a lot of comments about the Cine combo, and I tell people this, man, I'm like, look, guys, okay. You're paying for Apple ProRes here, and you're paying for the 1 terabyte onboard storage. All right.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you this, okay? Unless you're a professional, and I mean truly a professional photographer, don't get this.
No, you don't need it.
You don't need it. And the other thing is, and we've talked about, Ron and I've talked about it, is you need a powerhouse PC or Mac to handle something like that. Okay. Yeah. You need to have a RAID set up, okay? Because I talked to Cliff Totten, and do you know who Cliff is?
I've talked to him in the chats before. I don't know him personally, but I know who he is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a famous videographer for one of those. He actually on Discovery Channel. Okay, he works for them. Okay, but he was telling me, he said, the onboard storage, that 1 terabyte, it's going to go like that with Apple ProRes. Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to consume it up. And he said, you have to have so much storage on your PC, like whatever you think you need to double it. Okay. And you can't go around unless you're a big company, you can't go around saving a lot of these files because you'll lose your space on your computer.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people keep questioning as to why the price jump. You got to understand you got a $1,000 smart controller in there. You got $1,000 worth of ProRes license, and you got the SSD, which is going to be what, $150 to $200.
Yeah,
so you're at $2,200 right there, just in 3 materials.
Yeah, and
so it's going to go up. It's going to go up from there. The only thing I don't get is the $700 price jump between the Flymore and the standard combo.
Okay, that's I wanted to talk about that as well because I found out I'm watching the show last night. I think from what they were saying, batteries are going to be like $225, $250 for batteries. Yeah. Okay. So you add 2 of those batteries together, there's $500 right there. Okay. But the rest of that is, I'll call it non-expensive stuff. Okay.
ND filters.
ND filters. Yeah. The bag. Mr. Ron Brown, how are you, sir?
Hey, good night, Bill. Good night. Hello, Matt. How are you guys tonight?
Doing good. We're talking about the price of the Mavic 3. We're actually talking about the Flymore combo, the leap there. Okay.
Oh, you have some good news on the pricing for me, Bill?
No, I wish. Okay.
Cool.
It's like I'm hearing the batteries are like $225, $250 piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
that makes sense because the Evo 2 Pro battery is 219, so
Yeah.
it just makes sense that it's on par with the
I
Evo
think
battery.
with all the information we've gotten with the price leaks from overseas and whatnot, I think you can pretty much guarantee that the pricing that's going to be on this quad is what you're seeing now, the 21, 27, and 5. I think that's pretty much spot on.
Remember, though, usually the U.S. price is usually lower than the converted price from foreign nations.
Yeah.
It has been almost every drone that we get. Seems like we get a little discount over the foreign nations. That's not saying it's going to happen this time, but we have it.
They have they leaked the euro prices, and the euro prices in the past from the Mavic 2, the Air 2S, the Air 2, all of them have usually been dead on with US price. So
Yeah, that's funny. I think I was watching Geeks Fun and somebody else today, and they were saying they tend to be a little. The U.S. prices tend to be a little lower than the U.K. prices on most of these releases.
well, let's hope they are.
Yeah, I mean,
That
well,
would be nice.
talking, I mean, we might as well argue because we're talking dollars here, whatever.
Yeah.
We're not talking any big substantial savings, but maybe we'll be $50 to $100 cheaper than the rest of the world's prices, but no big discount. I mean, Bill,
that
you've
discount will be
been warning
going
us all
into
along, Bill.
Care
You said
Refresh.
This will not be cheap. This will not be a budget drone. Anybody that's shopping on a budget probably want to avoid the Mavic 3.
yeah.
You said that all along, Bill.
And this is the thing to do, and this is my recommendation. Okay, just get the Mavic 3, buy the batteries a la carte. Okay, and go ahead and get yourself a nice hard case for it.
That's
okay,
it.
I mean, seriously, don't spend the $2,700 because people say, well, it has the charging hub, guys. It only charges one battery at a time.
It only charges.
Yeah, I
one
remember
at a time.
the third party charging hubs that you could get on Amazon. Typically, a few months after these are released, they charge all the batteries at the same time. So they're cheaper.
Yep,
and they work.
I would go with the standard combo as well because for one, I would end up buying third party ND filters anyways. That's for one, and number two, with a 45-minute flight time on a battery, I'm good. That's all. That's all it's going to take. You can get a lot of footage on one battery.
Yeah, you will. Matt makes a great point. I mean, I'm probably going to buy one extra battery, and then I'm probably going to buy like either a Nanook or whatever kind of hard case for it. Okay.
Yep.
And that's it. That's all if I need, I'll buy spare props. Okay. If I need spare props or something like that. Okay. Because
usually even the base kit should come with at least a half set of spare props, right?
Yeah. I'm sure you'll get. Yeah, I'm sure
it usually comes. Well, I mean, all their past releases have always come with one set of spare. So
a full set, okay.
Yeah, it usually comes with a full set. And then the Fly Mores, you'll end up with 3 full sets. 12 total. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're good there. I mean, because
I did hear a little bit of rumor though, Bill.
What's that?
Small rumor that the case that comes with the Mavic 3 is a cut above the cases we've got with the Mini and the Air 2 series. That is a much more deluxe case than the ones we've seen. It's still a soft case, but it's much a higher grade than what we've been used to.
Yeah, it's what we've been told. Some sort of Lon named it last week. He named the materials on it. One thing I noticed about that case is I don't see a shoulder.
Material. That's not the word he said, but it's a leather-like material.
Yeah, I didn't see a shoulder strap on that thing. Am I the only one that did not see?
It was probably tucked inside. You always get the shoulder strap.
Yeah, I didn't see any clips on the side of the bag, so it had me worried for a minute.
Now, I don't know if you saw this last night or not, Ron, because I know you guys were so busy during the show. Lauren had posted they won't be getting them in the store until November the 12th. Okay. I don't know if you saw that or not.
I did. I've seen him say that in the past too, that the 12th. And, we've seen the rumors that came out, I guess almost a week ago now, that it looked like it was in a plastic bin in the Best Buy stockroom with the Best Buy bag under. Now, picture could be totally fake. I mean,
yeah.
And a lot of people say it's going to be a paper release. Other people say not. So, I mean, I don't think anything's confirmed.
I guess we'll see.
If you want to show up at your Best Buy on Friday morning, I think you got a shot.
Well, I'll help you out with that. Is DJI is now charging sales tax in the States. So you might be better off going to Best Buy because they have a 365-day buyback.
Yeah.
Matt makes a good point because, having a brick and mortar store you have a point of being able to return that drone. Okay. And that's it's always dicey having to mail your drone back to DJI. Okay. That's always, a risky proposition. Okay. And for me, if I'm going to have to pay sales tax, I'd rather pay the sales tax, here and get the drone. There's Marcus here and get the drone versus having to wait for it. Okay. Marcus voted today, by the way.
Congratulations, Marcus.
Hello there,
Bill,
Marcus.
Bill, you'd love it. This is Idaho. There was not a single Democrat on the ballot.
Really?
I had to vote ours because there wasn't a Democrat to vote for.
Oh, poor guy.
Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
What were you voting for today? Governor or
no, this was just city government.
Okay,
city
local
council.
government.
Yeah.
well, we're talking about availability, and Lauren and was saying last night his store's not going to be getting them till like the 12th. Okay.
Yeah.
So, are they going to be at Best Buy on Friday morning?
That's
also in Canada too. So it's
Lauren's
down
in
here.
Canada,
You never
so.
know.
Let me tell you, if they're not in Best Buy that morning, I'm telling you, Ron and I have talked about this a number of times. Ron knows retail. Best Buy will not be happy. And next time you go into Best Buy, they'll have a huge Autel display.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it would again. If you piss a big retailer off or whatever, like Best Buy, your product could be removed from the shelf. Set all units can be sent back to the company for a chargeback, and your competitors' products will be featured where your products used to be. So always be careful how you treat a big retailer that's probably bigger than you are.
Yep.
Dude, I have lived that life,
Yep.
and Ron did too. So yeah. And Bill, you're with Publix. I'm sure you've seen it there.
Oh yeah, I know that because back in a previous life, I majored in business administration. That's one of my two majors in college, and part of that is really being able to be smart about your marketing and to do it, and to please that supplier. Okay, because when you please that supplier, they're going to give you more product. Okay. Now,
there's another big box. There's another big store retailer. Remember when the Mavic 1 came out? The only store it was in for about the first week was the Apple Store. It sat out there in that little shelf. And ever since then, you go in the Apple Store. They don't have a wide selection of drones, but they always have the latest and greatest DJI sitting on that shelf. If that Mavic 3 is not sitting on that shelf today when it comes out, maybe the Autel products will be good sitting on that shelf the next week.
Well, Ron, you just made me think about another strategy. I'm going to find the Apple Store there in Texas.
There you go.
If the Mavic 3 is there, maybe Tim Cook calls DJI up and says something like, "You better get that drone to shelf, or I'm going to buy the whole darn company."
Now that wouldn't be a bad move.
No, I don't. I really don't foresee a problem with it being in stock. But one of the things that I'm going to say is these drones have been sitting in warehouses for a while. Okay.
Oh yeah.
They're not, because I've seen a lot of people say, "Oh, they're sitting in those 170 some ships off the coast of California." Blah blah blah. No. Okay. The initial supply,
They're already here.
They're already here.
Yeah.
Now, and this is my advice. Okay. My dad used to have a phrase, "Something or get off the pot." Okay. And this is this is a very applicable thing right here, because if you want it, if you think you want it, if you have an inkling that you want it, get it, because especially do it from Best Buy, Amazon, choose your method. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Bill, I don't know if I want it yet or not. I mean, I want it if it's, but we got to see the price. We got to understand all the features. I mean that. I'm not joking.
I think the price. I think, like we said earlier, I think the prices have pretty much
we know the price within
within $100 or so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're pretty damn close.
Well, Marcus. Well, okay. Let me throw one thing in real fast, and I want to ask Marcus a question. I think the best strategy, if you really want it, Bill says, DJI, as soon as it goes live on our website, purchase it with your credit card. The next morning, go to your local Best Buy. If it's on the shelf and you could buy it right then, buy it and then just cancel
your purchase.
Your DJI order that you put in your credit card. But at least you got one locked in. Now, to address Marcus' question, I'm going to ask Marcus a question. Okay, we're only going to talk about standard pack here. We're not going to talk about all the confusing extra packs. What price? Give me two prices. The price is going to have you buy it right away, and the price is going to have you not buy it.
I'll tell you, if it's that rumored 2,050 or 2,100, that that's the number everybody's talking about for that base package. I'm on the fence, right? It would depend on the features, obstacle avoidance. We talked about that yesterday on Drone Nation. Now, if it's 1,600 or 1,700, I'll be honest with you, I'd probably buy it no matter what.
Yeah.
Within reason, right? Yeah. And then conversely, if it's 2,500, I even no matter what, I let me say this: I wouldn't buy it initially. I'd have to think about it for a while.
Yeah. Here's my buying strategy: I'm going to get the Mavic 3, and I don't buy the next 4 or 5 mini drones, and I'm good.
There you go.
I don't buy the next 4 or 5 junky mini drones or whatever, and I've got the money.
Yeah, those add up.
Yeah.
That the hard way.
If you have a whole shelf full of them, you spent your $2,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And repairs and fixing them up and sending them back, all that adds up too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like mine, my plan is to I scheduled to do my 107, Marcus.
Oh, nice.
2 weeks after spin up. So it's it'll be 2 weekends from this week.
So we'll crazy as we're walking by your table, spin up.
Don't you bring it? I need it. I need all the lessons I can get.
Hey, the cool thing is, I'm telling you, and it's the truth. It forces you to study.
Yeah,
and you do. And you know what my advice is? 3 days before, just cram like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you were taking an exam in school.
Yeah. I mean, just think of some like a hard high school class you had to cram for and pass. That's all it is. Just go back in time to when you were high school and you had trouble with the class and you really had to work a little bit to pass. That's all this is.
Well, to me, it's more. To me, it's this will possibly make or break my financial situation with my family in the near future.
Right.
So, I mean, this plans on becoming bigger than just having a license in my wallet.
Right.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Matt. A couple of things here. Focus on those charts because they do spend time on the test on those charts. And then the other thing, know what they say about alcohol and alcohol limits because they threw in some curveballs during the test on that. Okay, so those are 2 areas that I highly recommend that you kind of like drill through because. I had the charts down pat. Okay. I didn't have a problem with that, but there was a couple of questions, the way they worded them. It was so tricky. Okay. And those are the ones that I missed.
I got more than one alcohol question on my test too.
Yeah. And they're tricky and you got to be real careful how you answer them. So just drill, especially focus on the charts and those questions like about drugs, alcohol, being impaired, that kind of stuff, because they try to throw you a curveball on them.
That's the plan. Guaranteed. And then with I plan on buying the Mavic 3. I 100%. But my route is not taking money out of my pocket. My route is going to pay for it right there. So whenever I get the chance, I get the chance. I mean, I'm not in a hurry to get it. So there too, perfectly fine.
No money's coming out of my pocket either. Mine's going to be completely go fund me by selling old drones. It already is.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm selling old stuff. I don't fly anymore.
Hey Matt, can I ask you a question? And because I'm interested. Listen, I'm an old retired guy, so my Part 107, basically, it's just because I'm a YouTuber, right? I mean, other than that, I probably wouldn't have got it. Mm-hmm. But so I know I've heard that real estate with a drone is getting so competitive that it's tough to make any money.
It is.
That. So what is your business plan? I mean, some of those We Go Look companies or that kind of thing?
Well, fortunately, like you said, the real estate market is getting very saturated. And
that varies by the state. It's not that saturated in New Jersey yet, but Florida.
Yeah, it depends on where you're at. Like down here, my neighbor to my immediate right is a real estate agent, and he does not know a single drone pilot in South Florida. And he's been a real estate agent for years. I'm already in with him on that end. I'm not starting that way. I'm going to do it for him as a favor after the 107. Of course, make money doing it. But I have a friend of mine that does insurance adjusting for roof inspectors.
Oh,
He's
beautiful.
a manager, and he travels the country. And he and I are in talks of a business venture by the end of the year that will allow us to start doing roof type inspections for hurricane season for both residential and commercial. So it's
that's mostly just pictures. So
pretty much.
Yeah.
A little bit of advice, Matt, go ahead and get your LLC right now. It's super easy to do. Just get it done so it's out of the way. I would look into whatever liability insurance so that you're all just ready to rock and roll.
Yep.
You could when I work, I just use what Verify app or whatever. You just go in, it GPS knows exactly where you are. Usually it's $10 for $1 million worth of insurance for an hour.
Yeah, nice.
I've always wondered about that. What is the better way to do that? To go to it depends on how much business you're going to do, right? But Ron, that's a good point. I know
the jump ahead and answer your question. Verify is associated with some real brick and mortar insurance company. I forget the name, but it's not just some online company. It's associated with a real brick and mortar insurance company.
But I guess what I'm getting at is which is more cost effective. In other words, let's say for the sake of argument that Matt's going to do 100 jobs next year.
Yeah.
Well, 100 times 10, that's a fair amount of money. What if your annual premium, because sometimes they can be really cheap. What if it's $200 a year, right?
Right. But if you're somebody like me who just does it once in a blue moon, it's easier to just pop that app up and pay $10. Right. And I just charge the $10 along to the client anyways, so it's not coming out of my pocket.
Yeah. That's a great idea. Yeah.
Sorry for getting so far into the weeds, Bill.
Yeah, we got a little inside baseball there for you, Bill.
Yeah.
Well, everything being said, okay. Now, and I started at the top of the show. And I know you guys talked about this last night too. It's like spin up. It's like did Kelly just tell DJI, why don't you kind of release the Mavic 3, a couple days before spin up?
He's got more power than we thought.
Yeah, he does. He really does.
First I want to ask you: does it feel like Christmas with the Mavic 3 finally come out? And were you shocked when they moved the release date up?
Yeah, I was shocked.
People have told me they did remind me. I think one of the Air 2s came out at night or whatever. But you kind of shocked when it kind of got. And I know it's the Friday in China, but still, usually the times are U.S. centric, so that kind of threw us off a little bit when Friday. And also, in the same couple hours, all those leaked videos came out of 2 leaked videos came out of China of people flying the thing.
Yeah, I don't think these things happen on accident. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest. I think there's a rhyme and reason to all of this, man.
I would suspect it's more that Kelly picked his date based on the date that DJI
spin up,
not the other way around. I'm just guessing.
Hey, if Kelly's listening, Kelly, I'm just joking around, but I asked Kelly to come on Drone Nation last night, and he said he was busy with a prior engagement, so he just sent me a couple things to read off on the air. But that prior engagement is probably him out putting the final test flights in the Mavic 3 before his review.
Yeah, well, what's cool is we're going to see him there. We already, 2 + 2, we already know they're going to be there. And with them going on sale Thursday night, Saturday morning, nobody will have them in their hands yet. So the guys at Spin Up, we're going to be the first to see them in person.
Yeah, because Billy Kyle already said last week. I said, Billy, as soon as it's advertised on DJI's website, yummy. Can you show it at Spin Up? And he shook his head, yes. As soon as it's for sale, he can get out and show it to us.
Yeah, their videos will start hitting YouTube at 10:05.
Yeah, 10:05 exactly.
That's if he has it.
Yeah, 10:05 Thursday night.
Well, it was funny because we were in Brooklyn for the Mavic 2 event, and as soon as the guy started talking, I got notification. I looked down at my phone. Kelly Shores, DJI Mavic 2, first flight video, and it's just like bing right away, and then you got to see some other ones coming up there. Okay, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is good. This is really well. Kelly, when we were at the event, okay, he was talking to the presenter. He was one of the VPs at DJI. And he introduced me to him. I got to meet him that way. and he was kibitzing with him. But it was like it's like Kelly knew this guy. Now the other thing was when we were there, it was you felt like it was you were at like this social event because they had like this unbelievable, or I don't want to even call them hors d'oeuvres. It was more like finger food, and they served chilled orange juice and lemonade in these nice really nice glasses, and they had somebody coming around and doing all this stuff. And, and I'm looking at Valerie and I'm just shaking my head. I'm like, are we at some kind of social event or what? But here's the real funny thing. Okay. When we were going around the table, because they had 2 tables worth of Mavic 2s sitting out. I mean, you could touch them, pick them up and everything. Okay. Billy, was over there. All right. You know how a guitar player, and I think you guys probably know that, they'll stick their tongue out when they're really, really jamming. Okay. Billy's tongue was almost out when he was down there photographing and videotaping, going around one of the Mavic 2s for filming a shot. Okay. It was crazy. Okay. His attention to detail. And that's one of the things that makes him great is his attention to detail. It was just off the charts. I mean, I just loved watching him do that. I mean, it was crazy.
Hey, Bill, go back about 10 comments and highlight Geeks Vana's comment at 8:49.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's right between Maddie and Marcus's comment.
He did indeed. I'm gonna make you watch it to find out what he said.
Matt, if that hints the Mavic 3 is the big prize, you could win that and save yourself a purchase.
I personally think it will be, but hey, I don't know anything either, but I think there'll be one there. I could be wrong, but actually I plan on walking away with one. So
you mean one that you won, not somebody else's that you did?
Yeah, one that I won. I won.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that much of an a-hole. I mean, I get there, but
hey,
look, Sean put up another comment, his most recent comment. It just popped up.
If it comes out in November, it will be a prize.
That was, we could all kind of guess that. Hey, Bill, I see our friend Barry Markowitz has posted that he's got a Mavic 2 Fly More for sale. So if anybody is looking, he's trying to fund that next purchase.
He's trying to do my thing and go fund it through his other thing. And I want to apologize to Barry. During the show last night, Marcus got these texts too. Barry was sending this video from Spin Up 2019, but I had all my alerts turned off on my phone because I've been flying not long before the show, so I wasn't getting anything. So I apologize, Barry, for not seeing those texts during the show.
Good deal. I can't tell. My heart and soul are going to be with you guys this weekend because there's no other place I'd rather be than to Spin Up with you guys. But I'm thinking about what's coming up in December. It's kind of like, that delayed gratification kind of thing. And here's my wife today. Okay. Now my granddaughter likes to play dress up already. She fancies herself a princess. Okay. So Valerie's picked out like this little tent we can put in the bedroom back there so she can sleep in there. And it's like this pink tent and it looks like a little castle. Okay. And she's got her already. She's going to buy all these little costumes for her, these, with wands and stuff like that and all this, it's just like some delayed gratification kind of a thing. So she's going to get spoiled rotten. So
I'm sure you're not telling Maddie anything he doesn't know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know how that works. 4 girls, I tell you.
I tell you, I had 2 boys and 1 girl, and my daughter was spoiled rotten. Okay, she's absolutely totally spoiled rotten. Of course, the boys were too. But what can I say about that? So, but yeah, I mean, Spin Up's coming this weekend. It's going to be a great time, and I'm sure you guys will have a blast down there. I'm sure Kelly's got some great. Who's he have lined up for speakers? Do you guys know?
Well, we read that off for the show last night. The only name I was familiar with was Aldrin Flypath. The other names I did not know those people, but I think one guy was an FPV pilot, and it may just be my, You
want me to read them off?
FPV.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah. So let's see. Geeks Vana's doing the pre-show first. We all got to watch. We need to watch Sean on the pre-show, and then Troy Naquin is speaking, then Jace McGowan, then Christian Malika, then Cornell Herg, then Aldrin Astacio, and then Elijah May. And I can look and tell you who all those guys are.
And I read the companies they were associated with off last night, but I cannot remember.
Yeah, I could do that real quick if you'd like. Of course, we all know Aldrin Astacio from Flight Path. And then Christian Malika is an author of FPV Flight Dynamics.
He wrote that book, that FPV book that a lot of people talk about.
Yep. And then Cornell Herg is from EVAX, another FPV guy. So Ron and I will be outside flying our camera drones or something probably during those presentations.
We'll be out fiddling around with the Mavic 3 at that point.
Yeah,
I'll be out there with you.
Yeah,
no worries.
Then, Elijah Bay is with a company called Roboters, and I am not familiar with them, but it sounds interesting. And then Jace McCowan is a multi-rotor test pilot, former Air Force pilot. Now that will be fascinating.
Now everybody was hoping that he brought one of those to spin up. That would be cool as hell if there was one there.
One of those lift aircraft.
Yep.
And that would be amazing, wouldn't it? That'd be something. And then Troy Naquin is with Quad Standard Labs, and I'm sorry to say I'm not familiar with that company. I don't know what they do.
Hey, I got announced our friend Stephen Ewing from over in Ireland. He's not feeling well.
I saw that.
Going to bed early tonight. Get well, my friend.
As a matter of fact, guys, if you don't mind, I'm going to jump off as well. I am going to kick up a little spin up show here at 9 p.m. I'll probably try and run it a little late, depending on what time you guys get off.
Send me a link, but I can only come in for a couple minutes because I'm flying out early tomorrow morning, so I'm still kind of packing my
no problem
things. But I want to pop in just to help you out for a couple minutes.
Yeah, we'll be over there just hanging around, talking
Good.
spin up and drones. I'll have Johnny on as well as Ray Kelly and DeMarco Moore. So
good.
All right. I appreciate it, Bill. Thank you for having me on, buddy.
Thanks so much for stopping by. We're going to have you on again, okay?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I'll see you guys in a few days, huh?
All right. Be safe. Have fun.
Take care. Bye, everybody.
Safe travels, Matty.
Thank you.
That was great having Matt on tonight. And it's been, like I said, it's been way too long. I should have had him on a long time ago, okay? He's absolutely – and I'm looking forward to our version of spin – the Florida version of spin up. When we get together next April, and Ray's going to put on a great time. Okay. And I everything I saw from last year, it went really well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. We just want a little bit less wind this year. It was like a hurricane.
Yeah. That was
just out in that little island.
Yeah. That was not a good night. As my catchphrase was not very applicable.
Well, it was a beautiful day if you take the wind away. It looked good. The temperature was right. Everything was good if you remove that 40-mile-per-hour wind. Now
the weather has turned down here in Florida, and it's nice now. I mean, this is the time of year in Florida. It's just stinking nice. There's no humidity. Highs are in the low 80s right now. It gets into the maybe 60s, 50s at night. It's comfortable. It's, the air conditioning's not running as much as that. It's just stinking nice to be outside right now.
Bill, it hit the 40s here in New Jersey today.
Oh.
So I'm ready to get out of town now. But I mean, it was just nice the other day. So it just came all at once.
So what's the weather like in Austin?
I think when we get there, like tomorrow, it's going to be raining. And then bring in a little bit of a cool front, but I think it'll be back up in the 70s by the weekend.
Okay, good.
And actually, I'm taking a side trip to Galveston, Texas. At spin. So Galveston's on the coast. Galveston's kind of like Florida. It'll be in the 70s and 80s still in Galveston.
Oh yeah, it'll be nice. You'll enjoy Galveston. Everybody that's been down there said they really like it.
Yeah.
I've been to Houston before, and let me tell you this. It is more humid in Houston than it is in Florida. Okay,
Brian B-Mac. I don't know Brian's last name. One time he told me, I said something about the heat wave in Houston. He says there's one big heat wave from June 1st to August 31st, like one nonstop heat wave for 3 months in Houston.
Any closing thoughts, Ron? Ron, any closing thoughts?
Just I want to just say we're on the verge of the Mavic 3 here. I know not everybody knows if they're going to get it because of price. I mean, I think everybody wants it. It's kind of a price concern this time. This will be the most expensive consumer drone I guess anybody has ever purchased, Bill. And is it worth it? Well, I mean, we can't tell you until we actually get it in our hands and put in the air and all that. But I'm excited. I'm excited to see everybody at Spin Up. So I think it's going to be a good week, gentlemen. Marcus?
Yeah, thank you, Ron. And I totally agree. I'm really excited, of course, about Spin Up and, of course, about the introduction of the Mavic 3. And we'll learn more about it when it gets here. And in just a couple of days, all this guesswork that we're doing now will just be a bunch of history, and we'll either have it or we won't, right? And Spin Up is just going to be a riot. I can tell you, Bill, you were just bringing up the weather. This is such a wonderful time to get out and fly your drone. Perfect time of year, shirt sleeve weather typically. In another few weeks, it's going to get really cold or start to get cold and not be as hospitable to flying your drone. So get out there now, fly what you got, and have fun. And everybody that's going to Spin Up, we'll see you there. And thank you, Bill, for having me on tonight.
Oh, well, you're welcome, and glad to have both of you guys on. And we wish safe travels for both of you, Matt, Johnny, everybody traveling. And just have a great time down there. And don't pull an original Dobo. You know what he did that Sunday after Spin Up? He was flying. He crashed.
Yes, Marcus and I were right there.
I was like, don't pull a Dobo. Okay, we love you, Ken, but
especially with the Mavic 3.
Yeah. Especially with that. So don't forget, and this is out there for everybody. For those of you that won't be traveling, we're having a very special live show, probably about 10:15 on Thursday night. Okay, if available, Ron and Marcus will join us. Maddie may join us, and Johnny may join us. Johnny Drone Flyer. So stay tuned for that. We're going to have a lot of fun with that. And then as soon as we get our hands on it, we're gonna put it through its paces. And one of the things I wanted to remind everybody about, and I think this is an important thing. Okay, a lot of times, when these test units come out, and this is something that you need to kind of bear in mind. The 100K channels will get. Sometimes they may be pre-production units. Okay, so that you may not see 100% of all the features that you want to see until it actually hits the release. Because one of the things that they do, and that I know this, is they give them a beta version of the Fly app. It's not the actual, it's not fully baked, so it may not do some things. Okay,
so expect to see your flap get updated on Thursday.
Yeah, it's going to get updated Thursday night. So that's what I have. A bookmark 10:15 Thursday night. Bill the Drone Reviewer, be here. We're going to have a lot of fun. We've been waiting for this for a while. It's finally here, guys.
Bill, can we get you the commit? Will you hit the buy button that night?
Oh, me, 100%.
You're commit. We got a commitment.
I've already sold my drones. They're money. The funds are ready. The deck is cleared. Okay, we're ready to rock and roll. Okay. Plus, I got a $100 bonus from last year. I got an employee award. So what they did was, instead of having a dinner, they gave us a gift card, and it's a Visa gift card for $100. So I'm getting my sales tax taken care of with that. So
what is the Florida sales tax, Bill?
7%.
I think it's the same as New Jersey.
Yeah,
I think Michael Wright told us it's like 8.5 in Texas.
It's pretty hefty here because we don't have an income tax.
I think Michael Wright told us the same thing.
Yeah, we don't have an income tax here, so
yeah.
All right, guys.
And I guess what I told him, I said, in New Jersey, we got every tax. You name it here in New Jersey.
In Idaho, they get you every which way but loose.
And then we have toll roads and toll roads and toll roads and toll roads on top of toll roads. Okay? All right, guys. Have safe travels to everybody who's traveling out there. Have a great time. Be sure to tune in Thursday night at 10:15. We're going to have a blast.
Wouldn't miss it.
It's always a great day to fly. Take care, everybody.